Okay, good morning, friends. Yesterday's historic press conference and announcement of President Trump and Netanyahu about the plans for Gaza has shaken the entire world, has surprised the whole world. Who could have possibly imagined that this would be announced from the Oval Office, that such an announcement would be made about the possibility of relocating the citizens of Gaza to a different area and to try to develop that area? Nobody could have imagined such a thing. It's, for the most part, being met with great joy on behalf of the State of Israel. And of course, nothing happens in this world by chance. And actually, we have a principle that whatever events that happen in the world are connected to the Parsha of the week. This is a well-known principle. A very powerful example of this, the Magen Avram says, is when the Shas was burnt in the year 1242 in France, on Erev Shabbos, Parshas Chukas, and they showed, the Chachamim of the time made a Shelas Chaloim why this was happening, and it was told to them, Yoima de Parsha Garam, the day of the Parsha caused it. The day of the Parsha caused it. The Parsha was Zois Chukas HaTorah, the Targum says Dag Zera Saraisa. So this historic announcement, where is it alluded to in this week's Parsha, in Parshas Beshalach? And sure enough, look no further than the opening pasuk of Parshas Beshalach. In the opening pasuk of Beshalach, we read about an allusion to this historic announcement. And that is, let's think about what's happening. For how many decades has the Jewish people had to contend with the Philistines, the Plishtim, with the people of Gaza? This has been an area of disaster for the Jewish people for many, many decades. And finally, yesterday we hear, well, maybe a salvation for Klal Yisrael is to circumvent the whole issue and make it someone else's problem, where the United States is taking responsibility to develop the area and other countries will take it upon themselves to house and to allow the Gazans to live in their country. It's almost a way of circumventing the entire issue altogether. It's like a backdoor exit when nobody expected it. Well, this is exactly the opening message of Parshas Beshalach. And it was Vayhi Beshalach Parei Yosam, when Parei sent forth the people of Le'nacham Elokim Derech Eretz Plishtim. The Rebbeinu Shem did not want to guide them the road of the land of the Philistines. Ki karoifu, it was too close. Ki amar Elokim pen yinachim ha'am. Hashem said, maybe the people will have a second thoughts, b'raisam milchama, when they see the war. In other words, like this, think about what's happening. You know, the Rosh says in his commentary to the Chumash that actually the Plishtim were related to Mitzrayim. The Rosh says, Mitzrayim yolad es ludim ve'es pasrusim asher yatsu misham Plishtim. The Philistines were descendants of Egypt. However, apparently, even though the Jewish people were escaping from Egypt, they may be frightened by the Philistines. Actually, there's an idea that the Plishtim, Peleshes Yam, they are the 50th level of Tumah. They are a level of Tumah even lower than Egypt. So even though the Klal Yisrael survived Mitzrayim, they thought we would never survive Gaza. We would never survive the Plishtim. And therefore, what did Hashem do? Hashem said, here, this is not the right time to take them head on. We're going to circumvent the issue altogether. And Hashem took them a different path. Why? To circumvent Gaza, to circumvent the Philistine. So the opening of this parsha is that at certain points in history, instead of taking them head on, you're better off taking a roundabout way and circumventing the issue altogether. And that's what happened yesterday. We're here for so many months. We're in war with in Gaza. So Hashem says, sometimes in history, you got to circumvent them altogether. Sometimes you have to take a different route. Make them somebody else's problem. You go elsewhere. You take a sharp right turn, and Vayasev Elokim as Ha'am Derech HaMidbar Yamsuf. And that's what we see unfolding before our eyes. Because if you have to go Derech Eretz Plishtim, that doesn't always work. Pen Yinachem Ha'am B'roisa Milchama. The better route sometimes, in order to avoid too much hassle, is Vayasev Elokim. And Hashem circumvents the issue altogether. So that's just a thought in the context of the historic events that are unfolding before our eyes.
Recording